Here's a better angle just so you guys can really get a grasp on hole 6. Super gorgeous. As you can see, the basket's tucked down there in those weeds, but the view is amazing. Now let's go toss some plastic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we find ourselves in Holland, Michigan, taking on a brand new disc golf course. I only think it's maybe a month old, and that course is called The Point. We are starting on hole 2. Hole 1 is right next to the parking lot. There's a guy mowing. Really simple shot, 250 feet wide open. So we're gonna jump right to a terrible first shot of the day, but we have 413 feet dead straight. It does look a little shorter than that, but we are gonna full send our Garrett Girthy Wraith. I'm excited to get this round started. All right, very expected and anticlimactic first throw of the day. That was super low. As you can tell, it is very windy out today. Should have gone flippier, but let's get started. Not the ideal start that we were looking for. We are still 80 feet away, super long, super windy putt for the 2. Oh yeah, that tailwind pushed it right down. For the par. Hole 3, 365 feet. We have all the room in the world to work with for a giant hyzer shot. We again have a pretty strong tailwind flying at us, so we are gonna send our Wraith one more time. Get up there. Oh yeah, that should work out quite well. The Wraith turned out to be a really good shot, but we're not gonna have any gimmies today, not with how much this wind is pushing around. We've left ourselves about 20 feet for the 2. Oh man, I need to get the wind out of my head. We need to play good. Hole 4, the T sign has it at 321 feet, but I can just tell that is quite a bit farther. The rangefinder had it around 360, so if it worked on the last hole, simply we're just gonna send it again and keep up our theme with throwing the Wraith. Keep fighting. All right, if we got a decent little skip there, which we should have, I think we'll be just fine. The Wraith, having the consistency that it always does, has gotten us a little closer this time, so hopefully now we can make our birdie. So when you pull into the Ridge parking lot, one of the first things that you're gonna see is a warning sign for ticks. And without exaggeration, I threw my drive on hole 2, my first drive of the day, and I just walked to my upshot and had a huge tick crawling up my leg. So keep that in mind. The Holland and the Grand Haven area love ticks. Hopefully we don't have to deal with too many of them, but that's not a good start. Hole 5, this is a tricky one. It's 150 feet uphill. It's a completely blind hyzer shot, and we have a strong right to left wind. So as our disc is starting to hit that hyzer, the wind is gonna push it over quite drastically. So normally I would throw my Rhino or my Kia here. We are gonna go with a more understable disc, the Envy, and let the wind do the work. I think that should be perfect. Let's go find out. I am extremely surprised the Envy got pushed over way more than I thought. There I was thinking that we threw a perfect shot, and man, we got humbled really quick. We have left ourselves about 33 feet into a headwind for the 2. Oh, I really thought we'd get a lift. I thought the wind would lift us up. Bummer. For the par. Hole 6, and this is one of the most interesting views I've ever had from a tee pad. we have a ton of elevation loss. Off to the left, we have beautiful greenery, a lake, and to our right, we have a very busy highway. And what's going through my head is I wonder if I could get my destroyer over into the highway. Just a PSA, guys, please do not throw into the highway. It is a very bad idea. Here's a better angle just so you guys can really get a grasp on hole 6. Super gorgeous. As you can see, the basket's tucked down there in those weeds. The thumber, tomahawk, really good options for this hole, but the view is amazing. We have this giant statue hanging out next to us. Very cool. All right, we definitely finished off to the right. It's gonna be another long and challenging putt. The destroyer worked out quite well, and once getting down here, it is kind of swampy. I understand why they didn't, push for a longer tee shot on this hole. Plus, I like how it forces you to go extremely high in the air, up and over the trees. You just don't see that design very often. Hopefully we can knock down this 25, 26 footer for the 2. Oh. Nice. Even a 26 footer in the wind feels like a 60 footer. Hole 7, the rangefinder has it at 228 feet. I'm not sure what's going on with the T signs here. The footages seem very inaccurate. This one's listed as 288 feet, but nonetheless, not the biggest of deal. We are gonna full send our champion rhino. Hook up, come on, be a rhino. Just so straight. Still on the hunt for a new PFN champion rhino. That thing is just, as you guys know, it's beat in. Well, we're definitely not doing ourselves any favors by landing behind the one bush on the fairway. You know what I mean? Hopefully we can knock down this tricky little forehand shot. I do practice these quite a bit. It's a nice putt to have in your bag. I do want to give a shout out. This is the first time I've ever gotten to a new course and seen one of my stickers. So if that was you, please let me know in the comments. Super cool, super exciting. I really appreciate it. Hole 8, it's only 159 feet, but as you can see, it's kind of tricky. It is a tunnel shot, all uphill. You want a strong left finish. It would be hard to get a natural hyzer there, so we're gonna get creative with it. I'm gonna throw my splice dead flat. Hopefully it turns over, catches a big skip, and then it's just gonna go in the basket. That simple. Come on. Oh my gosh. I really thought we were gonna have it. That had to be this close. That would have been the coolest call out ever. That was so close to being one of my best disc golf moments ever. Hole 9, 245 feet. The basket is blind from the tee pad, but hopefully you guys can get a view of it down the sneaky right-hand lane. That's what we're gonna try to take with our Kia. All right, I think that worked out quite well. For the 2, for today's hole 9 break, I'm gonna ask a favor of you guys, and I want each and every one of you to leave a comment and give me one course recommendation for me to add to my list. Being from Michigan, I do hope to van life in Greta again for the winter, and I wanna take all of your guys' recommendations, put them on a map, and wherever I get the most suggestions, I wanna target that for the trip. I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to van life again. That is a big if, guys. I need quite a few things to fall into place for me to be able to do that again, but I really would like to get out to your local courses. I would love to meet more of you on this second trip, but there are a few requirements. Your course needs to have T signs. Yes, they need to have T signs. Just because it's your local course and it's your favorite, that doesn't mean it might not be trash, and I don't mean that in a bad way. My local course is Rat's Nest. There's no T signs. It can get pretty confusing. The rough is terrible, but guys, tee signs are a must. Also, please do not suggest any very busy city parks. I do avoid those for the most part. They're very uncomfortable to film for me and the people around me. A lot of people don't like a camera being shown on them, even if it's just in the background, so please keep that in mind as well. And one last thing, if I've already hit your local course, please leave that in the comments too. I would find it very interesting to see where some of my viewers came from. And if you guys are enjoying the content, please take a minute, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications. I would greatly appreciate it. Hole 10, hopefully you guys can see the basket. This is a pretty tricky tee shot. It's 308 feet dead straight uphill the entire way. We are going to full send our champion leopard. Oh, it felt really good. Oh, you know, I don't know how close we were. It fell down right in chain height. I don't know if we were 30 short. We had a run. Let's go find out. As it turns out, we were a lot closer to that 30-foot short mark that we were talking about. It was really hard to gauge how much elevation this hole gained, but we've left ourselves about 30 feet in a straight headwind for the 2. Ah, dang it. Hole 11, 324 feet. It looks like we gain a slight bit of elevation, and this is the perfect number for my old Firebird. I feel like I don't throw this thing very much anymore, so it's always exciting when I get to pull it out of the bag. Well, it was the perfect distance, but we didn't get any turn on it. Not a great throw. To nobody's surprise, we did finish far to left, but as you can see, this is probably the signature basket out here at Ridge Point. Very cool design. Hopefully we can knock down this long, probably 45-footer for the 2. Oh man, we were close. Hole 12, 300 feet. Looks like we have some old telephone poles being repurposed as a fairway and kind of a little island hole up there, but we are gonna full send our truth. Come on, get back over. All right, hopefully we landed in the safe zone up there. It looked like there was more room off to the right than the left, which is why I pushed it out a bit wider. The truth really came through for us on this one. Whoa, that was close. I hate to do it again for this round, but we are skipping hole 13. As you can see, the basket's right here. The tee pad's right down there by those giant units. Something's wrong with them. As you can see, they have a crew here, an emergency repair crew, running back and forth, and I just don't want to put a camera right next to them while they're trying to work. So I hope you guys understand that. Pretty simple, straightforward, uphill, wide open hyzer shot. Hole 14, and this is a tricky one, 385 feet. As you can see, the basket's tucked in between those 2 trees up there. I don't have confidence throwing a big forehand in the wind, so I'm gonna try to take my Wraith, get some slight turn on it. Hopefully it hyzers back at the perfect time. That will not be the perfect time. Get out of the swamp. Okay, well, we hit the tree and then rolled into the swamp. All right, we are gonna go with some classic catch cam footage here because I don't think there's any way to set the camera up to see me and the basket. In fact, I'd be shocked if our disc even gets caught by the camera. We're gonna go with a really high, crazy turnover sidearm flick with our hammer. Well, hopefully it caught something. For the 2, or for the par, I have a tick update for you guys. Yes, you heard that right. We have a tick update. I've just pulled the 3rd one off of me. So let me know, how are your local courses? Have you been dealing with a lot of ticks this year? Michigan is out of hand. Hole 15, this one is 288 feet. This is the first hole so far today that suits up a lot better for a big forehand or turnover shot. Today we are gonna try one that I have recently been testing out, and that is the Discraft Soul. All right, definitely didn't throw it the best, but I think that disc has some real potential. Here's where the sole ended. It was a good, but not a great shot. I still want to get a lot more reps in with this thing. We've left ourselves a very tricky putt, probably about 50 feet uphill. Come on. Oh my gosh, they just have not been falling lately. Hole 16, and it's an absolute ace run. It's only 208 feet, dead straight. It is on the top of the hill, so if you go flying past it, you might have a very long comeback putt, but we are gonna full send our envy. Oh, man, the envy is such a good disc. For the two, hole 17, 200 feet dead straight, and how the T sign has it, and as you guys can see, we can go with a big hyzer shot, big Annie / forearm shot, but I'm just gonna mix it up and I'm gonna try to lace it right up the gut through that tiny gap in between the two trees with my Rhino. Well, as expected, that turned out abysmal. I mean, we tried. Always remember, guys, a cool idea is only a cool idea if it works. And in this case, it did not work. We are all up in this pine tree, probably about 80 feet away for the two. That was so bad. It was so uncomfortable. My gosh. For the three. And rounding off our day here at the Point Disc Golf Course in Holland, we have hole 18, 303 feet, dead straight. You have a ton of room to work with. There's just one tree up there to contend with, so you can go with a big forehand or hyzer. I am gonna go with the Firebird simply just because I want to throw it one more time. Get over there. All right, kind of a nasty skip. We're gonna have a tester putt to end the round. We have left ourselves a very tricky putt to end on, probably about 28 feet in a straight headwind for the two. I am not feeling any confidence with this putt. Oh, you know, needless to say, we did not come with our A game today, but I still had a good time. And that wraps up today's video at Holland, Michigan's newest disc golf course, The Point. Now I'm gonna get right to it, guys. The Point is a solid 7 out of 10. And I am giving that rating early because this course is the definition of a 7 out of 10. As you guys saw, there is nothing super unique about this hole. There is some cool characteristic touches, like that signature basket. As you walk the property, you will see some cool sculptures and other things like that. But at the end of the day, you are not coming to this course for some crazy experience, some really tough, narrow tunnel shot shapes. This is just simply not it, and I think that's the best case scenario. Holland, Michigan has a handful of disc golf courses, and a lot of them are aimed at more intermediate to even high level play. I think a course like this is just what Holland needed. Very beginner friendly for anybody trying to get into the game, and they don't have to go try to tackle some daunting course like Paw Paw that has a ton of water, a ton of challenges, because that could heavily discourage them. And for people traveling to Holland to play disc golf, this is also a great match because you can go take on one of those bigger courses and then finish your day up with a more relaxed, just kind of hang out, casual round here at the Point. As you guys saw, the tee pads are good, the baskets are good, the tee signs, some of them are like oddly far off on the distances. I'm not sure why, but honestly, you can see most of them from the tee pad, so it's not a big deal at all. Another thing that I love about the Ridge is the longer holes hover at that 360 foot mark, and I think that is a very important number because for an advanced player, it's definitely reachable, but that is not just a routine up and down, and for a beginner player, it's the perfect par number. You can really push for distance off your tee shot, but then it still requires you some tricky up and downs from 70 to 130 feet. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Now it's your turn to go toss some plastic.